Okay, let's go for a second cat. Hey, it's LJ and welcome to another episode of LJ Reacts. This is my little reaction video where I kind of go back the last sort of 10-15 years, try and catch up with some of the pop culture I seem to have missed. Occasionally I do trailer breakdowns. Mostly it's just music tracks, as is the one today. And if there is any music tracks or anything else that you think I might be interested in seeing, then hey, chuck it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Check me out on the socials. Come see me live. Dates are on the link tree, and you can even throw a tip in the jar. Other than that, let's get on with the song. Recently, I uploaded the latest Queen track. I say the latest. It was off the Miracle album, which is not the penultimate, but whatever. The album that comes before the penultimate studio album is that was off the Miracle, an album which I have not listened to in its entirety, in part because, as I stated in the previous one, I think it's the most awful album design, so it's kind of put me off. It kind of put me off buying it in the past. Someone pointed out it was because there was concern that Queen was splitting up, so they all tried to show it. They did that album cover as a sense of unity. In my opinion, it still looks horrible, and I don't believe I'm in a minority there. But moving on, someone in the comments said there is a great album closer. It's a hidden gem. Usually I focus more on hits that were released as well, I say hits, the songs that were released as singles, because there's a reason album tracks are album tracks and singles are singles. But sometimes I see they get switched up because record companies, they don't know everything. Apparently this is one of them. This is the album closer for The Miracle. This is Was It All Worth It? I'm not going to go too deep into this because I don't have a lot of information. On the Wikipedia it says it was written by John Deacon, the bassist, and Queen is whereas a lot of bands there is usually only one or two songwriters. Queen, all of them at some point pitched in. At least one of Queen's hits was written by each of the members, with a big chunk of Queen's hits being written by either Brian May and Freddie Mercury together, or the whole as a collective. It's not a lot of groups, I think, can really say that. Sometimes a lot of groups share the royalties out, but there is still only headed up by the one or two songwriters. So Queen, it's kind of out on its own a bit like that. But then again, Queen always were. So this is, like I said, it's John Deacon's song. It's the album closer for The Miracle, and this is my reaction. Bit of a drawn out intro. That kind of came out, and a lot of people say I should be doing these wearing headphones, and I feel that is one, had I been wearing the headphones, would have sort of echoed a whole lot better. Okay, so got some interesting lyrics there. So I mentioned on the previous video, I wasn't sure if this was around the time Freddie would have been diagnosed, and people in the comments have told me it would have been, but it was kept secret from the public for quite a bit longer. So, so yeah, it's interesting to see that. Also in the comments, I mentioned about how the miracle people were concerned that Queen was going to break up. The whole point of the miracle was about them being together. But between this and the other one I covered, and there's a couple of other album tracks that, without the list in front, I won't be able to pick out right now, where you kind of feel, I feel they may have peaked, and this would have been released in 1989. And Queen are a very quintessential 80s band. I know they began in the early 70s, but I can understand why they would have felt that. They did have obviously a few great hits following, at least in the UK. In the US, they didn't find it as funny. The "Want to Break Free" video, and the Evangelicals basically killed the career of Queen following that video in the US until Freddie Mercury's death. But yeah, it seems that from all the tracks I've heard off this album, they felt this was pretty much, they'd pretty much peaked, and it was a case of where could they go. Um, Apparently, it was. I mean, it wasn't going to be for Queen really from there on, was it? After the following album, we sadly lost Freddie. So where could they go? Apparently, crossing over to the other side.
Staying up all night, was it all worth it? Living, breathing rock and roll, a godforsaken life. Was it all worth it? Was it all worth it? All these years.
No, the album cover doesn't work for me, and that is part of the reason why it just looks horrible. If you like it, that's fine, but no.
Put down our money without counting the cost. It didn't matter if we won, if we lost. Yes, we were vicious. Yes, we could kill. Yes, we were hungry. Yes, we were real. We served a purpose like a bloody suckers. We were so dandy. We love you, madly. Was it all worth it? Living, breathing rock and roll, this godforsaken life. Was it all worth it? Was it all worth it? Went through hurly burly stars.
that is a weird mashup they've got going on there. Are they just are they taking like all the album riffs, just putting them together? That is, I mean, it's a weird thing to do. I've seen, I know Dream Theater did it for Scenes from a Memory, but it, is that, I mean, is that where they got the inspiration for that from? That's.
We went to Bali, so gone and done it, so mystic, surrealistic. Was it all worth it? Yeah. Giving all my heart and soul, staying up all night. Was it all worth it? Ooh, living, breathing rock and roll, this never-ending fight. Was it all worth it? Was it all worth it? Yes, it was a worthwhile experience.
Glad we got that resolution. It's, I mean, it's a great concept to write a song on, but I don't know, there's a lot of songs that sort of cover this ground, but I don't know if any ever just had the balls just to go at the end. Yeah, it was worth it. Every broken promise, broken dream, you know, whatever. But because at the end of the day, if you do this sort of thing for a living, if it's, or if, even if you just try to make a living from it, you know, if it's not worth it, it's not, just don't. It's really not worth the hassle if your heart's not in it at the end of the day. Well, that's that was that. Then let's skip straight to the final thoughts, shall we? So that was it all worth it by Queen? I can definitely see why that was an album closer. That definitely has such a final sort of sense. Other songs on the album, I said, may have hinted towards the Freddie diagnosis. I know the public weren't aware of it till a lot closer to when he died. I think, not even sure if people were aware of it until right up to the end. So, but it's weird to think the hints were there. Maybe that's what spawned all the concern about whether they were splitting up, because if someone's convinced they're going to die and you don't know that, then I guess it could be considered that, yeah, they're splitting up, because of course I'll be talking about the end. But, so yeah, I really do like the fact that, you know, that they actually had the conclusion, the whole build up of the song, because a lot of acts would have just said, is it all worth it? I don't know, we should keep push forward. But no, the fact that Freddie and the gang turned around and said, yeah, all the sacrifices we've made for this, all the hard work we put in, it's definitely worth it what we've got out. And I mean, Queen in 1989, I can definitely see, yeah, there is nothing in my mind that would make me think, wow, these guys are really regretting this. Towards the end of the 80s is pretty much when Queen hit their zenith. As a song, it had some interesting musical interludes there. Not bad, interesting, but just different. Definitely not the direction you would have expected them to go, the way the rest of the song was structured. But I did enjoy it. Yeah, I might just start with this. Video's got. I might just start just going through some deep cuts because yeah, there are some hidden gems out there. I know there are. I just haven't really had a chance to listen to as many as I would have liked. Again, if you know any, just write in the comments below. But yeah, so what do I rank this as a song? I do think quite highly of it. I don't think it's mind-blowing, but I can see why the previous commenter said that it was a bit of a hidden gem. So for that alone, I think it certainly lives up to the hype of being said hidden gem. So yeah, I chuck it at least 7.5 out of 10. I try not to break it down too much more. But yeah, 7.5 sounds a good sort of round number, and I think it pretty much sums up how I feel about this one. So yeah, that is what I'm going to stick this one at. So yes, that was Queen. Was it all worth it? And was this video all worth it? Was this worth your time? If it was, like, share, subscribe, get the word out there, because if you like it, someone else might like it, and we can grow. And of course, any suggestions, chuck them in the comment below. You, of course, can like me on the socials. You can check me out on my link tree for live dates and all other projects that I'm involved with. You can chuck us a tip. Because, what better way to say you really enjoyed me than chucking us £3? Other than that, until next time, this has been LJ Reacts. I've been LJ. It's been emotional. What?
You're recording, are you?
Yeah, what?